this PS5 is it can play the PS4 games. I don't know if it makes the PS4 graph. It does make the PS4 games slightly better. But look at this badass selection of PS3 games. You got this. You got Transformers, all three of them I got. Family Guy, The Simpsons, Driver, that's PS3. Original Grand Theft Auto, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, WWE, NBA Streets. Only thing that sucks, this is a PS2 game being played on the PS3. The load time still. Alright, now we're gonna go fight Omega Red. And look at all these free costumes you get. Look, all these free costumes you get. If this came out on the PS5 today, all these other alternative costumes, you would probably have to pay for them.
Locals in Kenosha and Gary will tell you they're not from Chicago. Their commute, their job, and their TV news say otherwise. Fact 29. The datum point. Every address in Chicago measures its distance from one single intersection. State Street and Madison Street downtown. That spot is the literal zero, the 0 by 0 coordinate of the entire city's grid. Walk 8 blocks north of Madison. Your address goes up by 800. It's a navigation system so precise that locals can guess a stranger's neighborhood just from their street number. No map required. Fact 28. 4 stars. 4 to Chicago's municipal flag has 2 blue stripes and 4 red, 6 stars. And most residents who fly on their porch can't name what all 4 stars mean. They mean Fort Dearborn, the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, the World Exposition of 1893, and the Century of Progress Exposition of 1933. One flag, 4 defining traumas and triumphs, designed to be read at a glance. Fact 27. The first tall building. In 1885, a 10-story office building rose at the corner of LaSalle and Adams. It doesn't sound impressive now, but the home insurance building was the first structure on Earth held up by a true steel and iron skeleton instead of load-bearing masonry walls. Stone buildings cap out around 20 stories before the walls collapse under their own weight. Steel doesn't. Modern architecture, every skyscraper on every skyline on the planet, descends from this one Chicago office block. Fact 26. Mile 0. Route 66, the highway postcard.
Yeah, I know she does that looking up. Just remember I'm on live. She does that.
In the desert. It starts at Adams Street in downtown Chicago.
You heard? Yeah, I know.
2,148 miles from Monica. The most romanticized road in American history begins at a parking meter.
Come on, you're gonna.
You're playing a video.
I'm watching that too during the load screens.
I don't want to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only black people are
Oh no, never mind.
Sorry.
All right, go to that way. Who lives here? No, come on, I don't want. It's foolish because I don't want to keep watching people getting arrested. I don't want to see people getting arrested. You can watch that when I'm not here. No. Come on, put on something that we both like. I don't want to see people getting chased in fucking police cars. I'm sick of fucking seeing people non-stop in police cars. When I wanted to go get arrested, I go do some illegal shit and fucking watch it in real life.
Love you guys. You're Adam, right?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity.
You know, cool.
He's a bit of a celebrity.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still get starstruck with that.
I know, right? We love what you guys do, and absolutely.
Hey, babe, I'll be in Dearborn on Tuesday. Babe? You think this guy will be?
Thank you.
So I'm over here.
I leave today. I've been here for.
I bet you Cam 6. Hey, I bet you I'll be able to go see Cam 6 too.
Okay.
So if I go to New York, that's going to be even crazier.
Yeah, I think you guys are like in an amazing spot here. I mean, Nashville's very liberal, you know, but there's also a lot of conservatives here.
Correct.
It's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks for stopping us. And what's the relation here?
That's my daughter.
Oh, so you raised her right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
My whole family, you know, we were watching you guys doing interviews.
Are you Latinos?
So, yes.
What's your heritage?
Well, actually, I'm part Spanish, part German.
Oh, very cool mix.
So I speak Spanish, German, and English. So.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm a part Puerto Rican and I'm a part like Russian.
Okay.
But I was born in Mexico, so I'm mostly Mexican.
Absolutely.
We're raised in America.
But America, yeah.
Absolutely all American. That's right. So proud to be American. So you're Adam
Francisco.
What?
Freedom whiskey.
And you're it says between my
Oh, that's my other account.
that's your other house?
Yeah, that's my main account.
That.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I
Be free my sheeple.
That's right. I like that one.
Yeah, I'm freedom and whiskey.
Okay, that's right.
Right here.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. I
Yeah.
remember.
All right, guys. Thank you for stopping us. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you.
That's right. That's going to go in part 2, by the way.
Every time he gets recognized, I realize that I am so lucky and so fortunate to be amongst royalty.
Yeah, when he said that he feels like he's with a celebrity, that's how I felt when I first met Caitlin Bennett.
Yeah.
I was like literally like starstruck seeing her in real life, like doing her thing. It's crazy. So what a compliment, what an honor. I'm not a celebrity. If you guys see me in public, you can always go up and say hi. Unless you hate me, then don't go up and say hi. Keep a safe distance, or you're gonna get the sauce. No, but seriously.
The Amagansett press sauce.
The Amagansett press sauce. Shout out Jason. But seriously, guys, we're now going to be starting part 2 of the video.
Oh, yeah.
And what a great way to start the video.
Good intro right
What a
here.
great intro that was.
Good intro.
That was awesome. And so, you know what to do, guys. Subscribe to both of us to get the full
Thank you.
experience.
Thank you.
And let's get into it. Shout out Long Island Audit. Life as it happens. Hell yeah. Oh, he gives the finger.
The reason I'm doing this because there's secret rooms in places. You gotta look at the wall to see if you can break the wall.
I got it. I thought it was going to be a piece of it.
And sometimes there's stuff hidden in the stones. That's why I'm breaking the stones. Oops, I
We're going to
forgot
go
that.
to a brand new, different location, and we're going to be interacting with the people here. Is that Savannah Craven in front of me? Is that Savannah Craven in front of us? Is that Savannah Craven in front of us? Savannah Craven. The hair, for a second. No, that's not Savannah Craven. I was kidding, guys. We got a birthday girl. How old?
18.
Happy 18th birthday. You can finally vote. Vote red. Vote red 2028.
Yeah.
Vote for Vance. Vote for Rubio. My man. God bless Trump. God bless Trump. So if you guys have not watched part 1 of our video, we had so many amazing interactions. You got to go check out part 1. This is officially part 2 of our final Nashville audit. So we're just going to keep going, have some conversations here, and see how the people of Nashville react to our Make America Great Again hats. That's right. Oh yeah. Beautiful. It's all shaded here, guys. I don't like being in the sun these days. I like being in the shade. How you doing? You stay with President Trump? You stay with President Trump?
Yep.
That's why you're smiling and
Yeah,
happy.
babe.
You don't stay with President Trump.
There. You should make a small list too for me on Tuesday of
Happy
that.
people stay with Trump.
Why? You should make a list for me to get a few more of those.
There's a correlation there.
Try to find places near Dearborn.
Good. Good. That's the point. Remember, this is a, guys, never forget.
Hi,
This is a political
girl.
street comedy and entertainment
Hi,
channel.
how are
So the goal
you?
is to make people laugh first and foremost, especially
You
you, my
playing
viewers.
dead?
But of course, while doing that, we're also distributing
You playing
Republican,
dead?
MAGA, pro-Trump talking points, educating the people, okay?
Look at her, she's
I have
playing
no problem
dead.
entering a debate on the street when needed, but most of it is just political street entertainment, you know what I'm saying? That's what the kids are doing these days.
What is that?
That's what the kids do these
How do
days.
they do it?
They do it at the camera.
You playing
Yeah, they
dead?
do it at the camera
Like,
now.
like a fish?
Yeah, they do that. They do this.
What the hell is it?
I'm just gonna look at people today. Point of view, point of view.
What
Hit
is
him with the
that?
fish. Don't call me Oak.
No, like, that's what they're saying. If you're
I
an
am Oak.
adult,
Let's
you're
go
Oak.
Trump. God bless President. You got the same hat as me, bro. Hell yeah, red hats. Come join our gang. Our gang, we wear red. Their gang, they wear blue.
You kicking me?
No, their gang, they wear blue and rainbows.
No kicking
And
my
Palestine flags.
little
And
Dracula.
Black Lives Matter flags. And trans rights.
Oh, wait.
And they wear masks.
Why are you being a cunt
And they wear septum
Dracula?
piercings. And they wear crazy colored hair.
Ow!
And they wear pro-choice pins.
Why do you keep kicking me, huh?
This guy passed the fit check. Nice shirt. I love it. Hey, God bless America. God bless America. God bless Donald J. Trump. God bless Donald J. Trump. Greatest president of my lifetime. Can I get a hand up for Donald Trump?
What?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Leader of the pack. Say it.
I can't hear you.
I don't know why people.
Just put up one finger to support President Trump. Can I get a finger for Donald Trump? One finger.
That's what his name said. That's how you say his name.
My woman. There you go.
Middle name John. Donald John Trump.
Yeah. You know what's really funny?
He likes President
What?
Trump. You like President Trump? You don't like President Trump.
No, I'd run over him in the crosswalk.
If you saw him, you'd run over him.
Absolutely.
Why?
He used to be run over.
Why would you put a threat like that on camera, sir?
I was just gonna say that.
We sent all threats to the FBI, sir.
I was just about to say that. Why is he threatening him on live
You
video?
said you would run over. Why would people put that shit on camera?
You know what's wild? I literally was turning around and about to say Adam. You know what's funny is if you say put up a finger for Trump, some people are gonna give
Oh,
him
I know. I know, that's why
And
it's
then
funny.
he immediately did it, but then he said he was gonna run over Trump with his car.
Yeah. He just said you would murder a president if he saw him.
Wow.
You see, this is why,
Come out here.
no, this is why the left
Yeah.
actually wants illegals to get in their vehicles and flee or drive in the direction of ICE agents because they use this kind of rhetoric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I saw Trump,
True.
I'd hit him in my car.
Right.
If I saw ICE, I would flee or hit him in my car.
So they make it think that it's appropriate
They
to put
normalize.
response. Of course.
They normalize. That's crazy.
That's wild.
All right, I gotta get this Sydney Sweeney, Sophie Cunningham hybrid. It looks like part Sydney Sweeney, part Sophie Cunningham. If Sydney Sweeney and Sophie Cunningham had a baby, you would be the results.
Oh, that's crazy. That's actually true.
Yeah, you're part Sydney Sweeney, part Sophie Cunningham.
Basketball player.
Can I get the Sophie Cunningham points? Give me the point. The Sophie Cunningham points. Do the point. Do the point.
Right here, there's no.
She loves it.
Love it.
Can you tell me why he's taking President Trump?
He's a conservative. That woman went right under your high five, and then I was like, "This is my president."
She said
Well,
no.
he didn't say anything.
Love your glasses. Yeah, let's make him walk through the gauntlet. You stay there. Let's make everyone walk through us. President Donald Trump. She loves the hats. Thank you, thank you. How you doing, officer? Got the blue. We're YouTubers.
No.
We wear the hats in public and then we film how people react to seeing MAGA hats in the wild.
I'm not alive yet.
100%. You can look at my channel, Adam Francisco. You might be on
Watch
it.
this guy share comes up.
Love the hair color. It looks good. My hair is one
Like, you know how badass it would have been if they made the PlayStation 5 able to play this game, and like how the PlayStation 3 makes PlayStation 2 games, which this is what this disc is, the PlayStation 2 disc and a PS3. It makes the graphics slightly better than it would play on a PS2. That's what they should have did with the PS5. They should have made the PS5 play PS4 games 3, 2, and 1. And not only that, graphics better on all the previous systems. Games.
Camera change. So now's my opportunity to get the most epic video ever.
Like doing remakes of old games, but they're all shit garbage games. I don't even want to fucking. It's disgusting they even made a remake of it. That's how shitty they are.
What's Freebird? Is that Boots? Very nice.
Having trouble making
Yeah,
ends
but you
meet?
should
Just
close off the
pretend
kitchen
you have
so
more
that way
money.
she doesn't do that again.
Balanced budget.
You
That's
should
a
close
new
off the
Dakota
kitchen when you
plan.
go past
Last
it
year,
so she
Dakota
doesn't do that
supported a
again.
$200 high interest loan. This year, she voted for an unbalanced budget. These decisions are driving Chicago
What?
public schools deeper into a financial
Yeah.
crisis, leading to higher taxes, more teacher layoffs, and mid-year cuts, which means Chicago students and taxpayers lose. Email Anusha Thorakora, put students first. No more magic tricks.
I bet you your mom hates that person.
By removing 100% more black.
I bet you your mom hates that person running. The person for mayor of Chicago. Alright, here comes the Omega Red fight. What? The guy that was just on TV. And that girl from Chicago, Phillips Red, I think is supposed to be running too. I hope she wins. I think she would do a good job. She was the one that went on stage and was like to the mayor, "Why are you spending on all this money at the town hall meeting? Why are you spending all this money on the illegals, but you won't take care of like any of the communities, especially the blacks?"
Your shirt literally says cowgirl. What's up, cowgirl? Yeehaw. Woohoo! Yeah, my man. That's a real man right there. God bless you. How you doing, officer? Why don't all officers look like this? You're in great shape. We need more of that. Thank you.
No, they don't. They don't all look like that.
You know, in Poland, the officers they all look like that. In ever see a obese police officer?
Yeah.
I mean, that is the diversity of America, the cultural diversity, religious diversity, political diversity. Is I can stand here and I can talk, disagree with each other, but we can go home at night and have a good life. Amen. Amen.
So you're not a Trump supporter?
I am not. No, I am
Got it.
actually like an anti-Trump person. But
Well,
if you come to me respectfully, I come to you respectfully, and then like, you know, it is what it is.
and I don't want to take too much of your time. It seems like you're with the group.
Yeah.
But what's one reason, policy-wise, that you're anti-Trump?
So that's another thing.
Yeah.
I don't know a whole lot politically because I'm trying to think like how to not embarrass myself.
She don't even know why, by the way.
Thank you. Mine is more of like a personal, a personal thing. I don't love the portrait that the media has portrayed of him. But I also understand that where we are, the media is also very
I have no
manipulated.
idea. She's
And
not
it's very
gonna.
hard to
If
find,
his questions.
media and the internet, and so I just choose to live
Giving a politician
my
answer.
life, appreciating the freedoms that I have,
Yeah, right.
And nothing has happened to me personally. And it's unfortunate for, people who do feel like they've been personally harmed by this person, but at the same time, there are people who are thriving. And so, yeah,
Let me ask you a question.
you're a very helpful lady.
Have you lost any rights as a woman in Trump's second term?
No, me personally, no, I have not. I've heard
You
of
turn 'em
people,
on.
know people who
Yeah,
have.
they dream on.
And it's unfortunate, and again, my thing is that, it's his character, because I feel like he is very characterized in the media and in the news.
Why bring the media for that, not President Trump?
No,
And I will say, there is one group of people that have lost their rights under President Trump. You know who that is?
the Republicans,
Criminals.
criminals.
If you're here in the country legally, you've lost the right to stay here. Trump is enforcing the immigration law through ICE and getting them out of this country.
Yeah,
So they've lost their rights.
I love that. I think, not you guys, because you guys are super respectful and super kind. I think that there is a certain group of Trump supporters who maybe are not as aware or educated or open-minded that do borderline racist. And so, by all means, like,
To decipher the symbols on these walls, it took quite a bit of persuasion. But in the end, Legacy was
whether
commanded.
it's like the European
And
The previous scientist for Apocalypse was slowly providing a translation.
With a group of young girls,
Employment
okay,
was
so one of President Trump's
terminated in
commitments
a most
was to keep men
unpleasant way.
out of their spaces.
Yes.
This includes sports, this includes their bathrooms,
Yes.
this includes spaces dedicated to keep women safe and,
Yes.
children
This
and girls.
task is
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
support that.
so peace is no longer
I
a
do.
means. Please
But
believe the
I
same
support
fate
keeping
as
the
the
children safe
translator
while
before
also
him.
creating a safe
Speaking of
space for those
termination,
people who do
your
identify
time
differently.
has come, my
So
friend.
a third facility, yes, a
Or
third
porta
facility.
potties where they're all unisex.
Yeah, exactly. A unisex bathroom. I think that a non-binary sports league or a sports league, because never in a million years would I ever want my daughter to play against a foreign male. Who, by all means, if you want to live your life as a female, again, in America, you're free to do whatever you want to do. I would not want my daughter competing against. And I think that if this is such a huge population who's so concerned, there should be a league for those people. I don't want them to go to sports. I want them to have the same life that I have. And I want them to have the same experiences.
If a trans woman can play sports with women, they choose not to. Right, if they want to.
Yes, but I do respect their idea that they're
Fuck, I can't
and if
fly.
they want to compete with women, then compete with other trans women. And if this is a huge issue and there are so many trans women, then there should be so many
Huh?
trans athletes. And by all means, have like
What?
trans Olympics,
Yes.
or even like Olympics now.
Hold on, I'm right in the middle of the fight. I can't.
I do think that there needs to be more clear-cut boundaries. That, barrier is one of the reasons why people go through the appropriate.
I honestly think that's a good obstacle. I think that you shouldn't come here unless you have a basic understanding of English.
Agreed.
It's
Agreed.
our national language. And I just want to clarify one thing. You're second generation, not first. Your parents were the first generation into the U.S. You being born here makes you second generation. It's a current thing that people often mistake. I'm a first generation because I was born there,
And then you came here.
And I came here. I was adopted at birth from Mexico.
Okay.
So I'm first generation.
Well, thank you. I didn't know that.
Yes, I didn't know that either until
Yeah.
a video of mine went viral with another Mexican girl, actually here. She referred to herself as first gen. She actually was second gen, and I didn't know that until after. My audience educated me.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, because I feel like sometimes people just have this idea, like,
You're the first generation born here,
correct.
but you're considered second generation of your family. Oh, thank you for your words. We don't want to keep it too long.
You guys are very nice.
Any more Democrats like you, or whatever you are, whatever you voted for?
Uh,
Did you vote Democrat? Did you vote Democrat? Okay, so we need more Democrats like that. Hey, you know, there's... She loves your hat. She's got the Christian translator. She's got the cross and the red dress.
what was the tattoo?
Made for a foreigner. He's leading the country into
Democrats like you.
For a positive, he says it.
Hey, you know, there's... She loves your hat. She's got the
Yeah, that's what I thought.
she's got the cross and the red dress.
The red dress is a fucking pirate.
made for a foreigner. He's leading the country into the greatest history of America.
So you're visiting America.
I am.
What do you love about it?
He's
My man, sir, are you a veteran? You're a veteran.
23 years, yeah.
Thank you for your service. Did you say go Trump?
Yep.
Why do you stand with
I thought he said fuck Trump, not go Trump.
Screw that country out.
Didn't it sound like, did you hear that or no? It sounded like he said fuck Trump, but he said go Trump.
Law's already on the book.
That's exactly all these people with the
I don't know if people don't understand about illegal. If you're illegal, you're illegal.
Correct. So,
Congratulations.
you support me?
the opposite. And this could be the beginning. It's not. It's yours now. You try to use it to take me out. Considering I am standing above you, holding baseball bat like this is smart. Now you can use it to me out of damn shame, but I get it. Obviously not all my shiny things you can get in recent events. You can sit there and do nothing. Wait for old David to come back to life and eat your face off some damn shaming kind of nuts where the hell it keeps them on. Or you can use that blade and stop old Rapey Davy from becoming dead alive, Rapey Davy. Save yourself from the cause. I know what I'd do. Man, short. Man, but still, I'm sure you've got those baseball-sized legs now. Hardest thing you can come out. You can help me run this place one day. All of us together, following the rules, working on the safe side of things. That's all this was ever about. And it can be for you. I know it's hard to picture considering what I did. But Sasha, we all can, you know. Take some time. Whatever you decide, so it shall be. Pressure. Again, I am sorry you didn't see that, even though I know you had seen some things. I just want you to understand. We are not monsters.
It's good to see you again.
Tell me more about Shades of White.
You have Swiss coffee, extra Swiss coffee.
Sometimes I
For
encourage
you.
homeowners to let the parent out.
You have
Aggressive can protect you from killing your parents, but we can't protect you.
Hello, X-Man.
off white. Off white.
I do not control the visions, and they are sketchy because the future is fluid, constantly shifting. But what I have seen will come to pass. I'm afraid that it can. Because I foresaw the attack on Genosha. Yes, but as we all know, Magneto can be a bit headstrong at times. And in this case, he didn't want to hear that his defenses of Genosha could be defeated. I believe so. I recently had a vision dealing with 4. It deals with 4 mutants who are separate yet alike. For some reason, Apocalypse wants these 4. I'm glad to help.
Thank you for returning the anti-metal to me, my friend. I'll hide it in a place where it will never be found. My father's secret will once again be safe.
Anytime. Speed Sport 1 is the always-on live motorsports channel. Watch free today.
I am Keza. Several years ago, you are quite... Okay. Let me go, X-Map.
She shucks and she can't go in the
Hey, I'm not alive, just so you know.
picture.
See, hey, I put it up on the, put it up on the, that
Good
shelf.
to see you again.
You know what I'm
Did
saying?
you
in the
need
front
something?
room. The one right next to the hallway. So like if you're walking towards the front door to the right, that
You
first
won't find
wood
better
shelf, like
prices anywhere else.
yeah, the brown one.
You can relate to me as often.
Look right about chest to fucking chin.
Sit offer just as I did.
Right at the very front, side to side.
Situation, but taken up with the management here was indeed a great split. I believed I could do both. That I could be a survivor like Abraham was.
It's all in excellent condition.
The greatest 37 years of my existence. But I know now that I was full tilt delusion. I have never in my life been as scared as I was that night in the woods. Kicked to the grip. Fully believing my number was about to be called. But seeing it happen to someone brave, to a survivor, thanks for some dare. Rinse and repeat of that very same event. I couldn't.
You won't find better prices anywhere else.
Be here, man.
Why is that in the kitchen?
I did. She knocked on the gate.
Neither will you. Just say yes.
I put that chair out there so she can't knock it down.
Say yes.
Too late.
He would want you to.
I fucking did like fucking 4 dogs when I was walking her because she's fucking full of string.
Oh wow.
I do.
Bitch.
You were still.
It's like part of it wants to be like your dog friendly, but then other ones think it'll fucking
Change
happen.
with it when you have to.
Wait, what? Oh yeah. I got what you're saying.
I wanted fucking let her
Especially
go
that
play with
Anna
them,
one.
but it's not like I've seen the same animal more than once. It's always a different animal, so I don't know if they're fucking friendly or not. And the
It's
last
all
guy
in
told me their
excellent
dog was
condition.
friendly bitter when she was a puppy.
I remember that.
Looks like you're not going anytime soon.
I don't know.
I don't give a fuck. What time is it?
$7:40.
Yeah, you really need to go. Oh, why are you gonna keep doing this shit and staying up all night and fucking sleeping all day? Blows my fucking mind. Like,
It's
who the
all
fuck
in
are I'm
excellent
watching
condition.
this shit while you're playing a game and I'm fucking sitting here and can't do shit.
That's The Walking Dead though.
I don't give a fuck.
There he comes off. What's his face?
It's always 8 o'clock. You're worried about a fucking TV show.
I think I've seen you outside, girls.
It's good to see you again.
$7.50 by the way, not 20. Can't fucking go through the goddamn time.
You won't find better prices anywhere else.
You fucking stuck with your dog with how you are. God, what the fuck are you on? I don't give a fuck.
Podcast up here with Taylor Potter. Taylor all the way from North Carolina.
together. We live in a
Where's the
small
video?
community. My dad was a very well-known, well-respected man in our community.
I'm afraid so. Like all machines, it can be rebuilt, but that will take time. Time we cannot afford to spend right now.
Internal theft. And so, very, like I said, very well known. Our family was well known. It's just a small town.
Do you have a good relationship with your dad going on?
Yeah.
You seem like a good father.
Absolutely. Yeah. Couldn't have asked for a better dad, a better role model, just in every aspect of being a dad and a husband and all of the things. So 2018 rolls around,
Yes.
and
Hopefully, as we search for
after
beasts,
the first of the
clues
year,
will be uncovered that will give us the location
my
of
dad
Apocalypse's
started
base.
just experiencing some things that we had never dealt with. And, you know, again, like my sister and I are adults and out of the house at this point. So the extent as to the depression and anxiety that he started going through, you know, we weren't living there. We were still very close. We both lived probably less than 10, 15 minutes away from home still. But he started dealing with some pretty severe depression and anxiety. And
is there any like signs that you picked up on or noticed about this depression? Or?
My dad is very type A. He was 62 years old when this happened.
What was type A name? Sorry,
Just real.
I hope.
He never slept past 6 a.m. He was up at doing 5 a.m. CrossFit classes. Just
so
very.
he wasn't like in the bed, can't get out of
Yes.
bed.
No. Very business minded, business structured. You know, just. Well, I'm very type B. Like I just am. I don't do the same thing from one day to the next. He was more, you know, had his schedule, his routine. So he was 62 when this happened, and it just came on really, really fast. And like I said, he had been for probably over 20 years, 25 years for sure. I don't exactly remember how long, but he was really, really good at reading people and you know, being able, like I said, he specialized in internal theft within businesses, and he could call it from a mile away. And it was really
How do you sleep all day and then you're
Hey.
still going out? I don't give a fuck if you're on a bike or what are you.
You know, he needed them to do, and then he just didn't want to try them anymore. You know, it was
And
just
she
the whole
likes
thing,
that
but
shit. Thumbs up.
that
PS3
started
games are
probably
better
2 or 3
than
months
PS1, 2, and 3 games.
when
They're
he
better
started
than some of the
to
games for
develop
PS5.
depression and anxiety,
They got
and
more
the-
story,
the,
more care, a lot
the
more
anxiety
everything
was
into them.
It's the first time you talk to him like an hour. Nobody's fucking listening to you.
he has spoke in conferences in front of thousands and thousands of people, but when this kind of started, it would kill him to be in a room just with this amount of people. was too much, and
So did he have to stop the public video, or?
he started cutting back in business that he was doing, or he would send one of his other guys to do something because he just felt like he couldn't. So all of that kind of started a few months before, leading up to that day specifically, and I guess going into that weekend, my uncle, my dad's brother, lives across the street from him, and you know, he had called him over there that Friday night, I believe. In the beginning, when he started taking some of
Polaris
these
and Quicksilver were taken on purpose, whereas Beast was taken because he was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
said, hey, you know,
I get the feeling they're being held in an entirely different location.
take all of, you know, all of my weapons.
Magneto would much rather be searching for his son, Quicksilver,
Very smart.
but he has no idea where Apocalypse took him. Yes, hopefully as we search for Beast, clues will be uncovered that will give us the location of Apocalypse's base.
Later, we found out that Saturday, he actually went and purchased a pistol and had planned.
I hope to see you soon.
Take his own life that Saturday night. Ended up he didn't. Obviously, Sunday morning, Philip and I, at the time, were living in one of his rental houses that is on the same street that my parents live on. We were living there while we were saving up to build, and my sister was living at home, and we were all up getting ready to go to church. We all go to the same church. My mom, my dad, my sister, my brother, his wife, we all go to the same church. So I had texted him. I remember texting him that morning. We had life group that night.
I wonder if they all marry their same relatives.
So we were like in a group of other couples our age. And instead of a lot of churches, you know, get together on Sunday nights and do a church service on Sunday nights, we do what we call life group. And so we get together in different houses and meet, hang out, talk about the sermon, whatever. So we were living in the rental house, which probably was about the size of this room. It was a very small rental house, so the 20-something people in our life group were not going to fit in it. My parents' house had a big basement. I texted Dad and said, hey, I forgot to tell you that we're going to have life group at your house tonight, if that's okay. He said, okay. He just said, okay. We go to church. We actually all ended up sitting on the same row that Sunday, which now, looking back, I think was just a little bit of something as the last, I don't know, like,
That usually doesn't happen.
we just would all come in at different times, or, you know, my sister-in-law and my brother, her mom at the time had Alzheimer's, so they would sit kind of in the back with her in case she needed to come back, you know, to go out, or my sister would come in at different times, but we didn't always sit together, but that Sunday, typically we were all, on the same road. And, Kate actually is the one who initiated that we should all go to
I
lunch
can't go
after
that way.
church. She just wanted us to all be with Dad. Like he came to church that morning. He wasn't going to. He was feeling anxious, just feeling down. He wasn't going to come to church that morning at all, but he did. And she said, let's just all go to lunch. She texted me and said, let's all go to Surf and Turf, which is a pretty popular fish camp in the area that we lived in. And all of us Southerners go get fish on Sundays after church, so fried fish.
You betcha.
So we decided to go there. We went to the 9:30 service that morning. We have a 9:30 and 11. We went to the 9:30. So we are out and going to lunch before the church crowds get out at 12, you know, or after. And
Sure.
so we go there. There are 13 of us. My parents, my sister and her fiance at the time, me and Philip and our daughter who was 4 at the time, my brother and his wife Amanda and their 2 kids, and Kate's fiance's parents were with us as well. We were going to talk about their wedding that was coming up in a few months and
just to be with Dad. We were glad he came to church. We were like, hey, he's out of the house. Let's just all go to lunch. So we get there. The hostess sits us in a room, a decently sized room. We thankfully ended up being the only room at this particular time, which is just one of those things that I'm incredibly thankful for. Which sounds weird because it's not like I'm just that this happened to my family.
It's nothing to be grateful for at all, actually. But like,
right, but I'm so glad that there were no other families in that room.
Yeah. Like we like so glad Blue survived, but
right.
That was not a miracle. That was a massacre. It was not a good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So just another little thing that it just ended up being so incredibly thankful for that there were just no other families in that room. They actually, had to push some tables together. Like I said, there were 13 of us, and they sat us in front of this, I guess if we can just imagine this area being a window. It's just a big window. They sat our table in front of that window. We got salads. There was a salad bar, and Philip and I were kind of at the end of the table. When there's a big group of people at a table, at one end you're not necessarily hearing and being engaged in the conversations at the other end.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So I didn't even notice that he had gotten up from the table. I do remember, like, I just kept looking down to see how he was engaging, if he was enjoying himself. He had his family, his kids, most of his grandchildren there. I was just seeing how he was feeling. We were just a close family.
And how was he doing?
Not good. I mean, he was there. But he wasn't there. Yeah, he wasn't there, and I didn't even notice that that he had gotten up from the table. But I remember looking down and just kind of mouthing to my mom, "Where did Dad go? Like, where did he go?" I don't know. And then about that time, like we're all still kind of conversating in the windows. Me and Philip and Kate and this was her fiance and Mom were all facing that outside window. Brother, his kids, wife had their backs to that window. And I can remember asking my mom where he was at. She said, "I don't know. Didn't know if he just went to the bathroom." Anyways, I remember looking out the window. The blinds were open, but down. And I saw, I saw a vehicle coming towards that window, and I knew that it was coming into that building, but I had no idea that it was my dad. Like, it did not even cross my mind.
It was probably just quiet.
In that moment, I just knew that it was coming.
Yeah.
That it was coming through that window. And there started to be like a little bit of commotion. I actually think now once we were able to look back, like at the camera that was in that room, my mom and sister, and Josh, my brother, and Amanda actually saw him coming. We could see that there was some commotion at the end of that table. Like they saw the car coming. Whether or not they necessarily knew that it was him, I don't know. Like, my mom doesn't remember much, and neither does my brother. They were pretty severely injured to the point they're pretty questionable about them surviving at that time. So they don't have any really recollection of anything that happened. But he came through the window, and once everything kind of stopped, like I said, my daughter was 4 at the time. I just
Ain't going that direction.
Said, "Where is Kennedy?" That was my first, like, "Where's Kennedy?" I still don't even think at that very second that
Ain't going that direction.
noticed, like, okay, that's my dad's Jeep. But we found Kennedy, and I'm kind of like scanning the room, and I see Alex, Kate's fiance, I see his parents, I see my brother up under the first side tire. He was moving, so I had eyes on him. Saw my niece and nephew. My niece was injured minimally, but she was injured. I saw her, she was moving. I saw my mom, so I'm just kind of standing in the road, and for a second I thought, okay.
Didn't go in that direction.
Still wasn't really thinking like my dad's car. And even when I did notice
Show
it was my
can't be
dad's
that
car,
way.
in my head I thought something like really wrong has just happened. Like even as bad off as my dad was, like I thought something's wrong. Something really bad happened. Obviously. And I remember looking at Kate's fiance, and because I didn't see her or Amanda, and I just screamed at him like, "Where's Kate and Amanda?" And the way that the car stopped was kind of like up against the back wall of that road, and it had kind of like knocked the wall off of the foundation. So there was like a little hole there to go outside. And we had to walk through the hole that he created in the front to get to the back. Like Kate and Amanda actually ended up outside of the back of that restaurant. So we get back there, and that is just where like everything just stopped. Kate and Amanda were kind of both beside each other, which is, I don't want to use the word funny, but I guess ironic's a good word. They were really close. They were, not that me and her weren't, but they just had a very special relationship. Her and Amanda did, and they were right there beside each other. And Amanda was moving. I feel like her nurse kind of kicked in because she just wanted to like try to get up, and Philip was like, "Hey, just stay still, like somebody's coming, like don't move." And but Kate wasn't. She was, and when I finally did realize that it was my dad, I had gone to his car first. I'll probably skip the part, but I went to his car first before I went to the back of the building because and even for a split second, I thought there's no way that this is my dad inside this car.
Was he just sitting in there frozen, or what was he doing?
Yeah, it looked just like a shell of a person. He was just, his pupils were nothing, and he was just sitting there, and I was like, "Dad," like trying to get him to talk to me, and it took us a little while to actually get in his car because it was, just tables were smashed into the side of his door, and Philip tried like breaking the glass with one of the serving trays, and the glass was freaking great glass because it would not break. But we finally got in his car, and so like once I couldn't really get him talking to me, that's when I went around. We went around to the back of the building where Kate and Amanda were, and they were trying to find a pulse on Kate. And her fiance was there with her, and
Is they just like people at the restaurant?
The people at the restaurant. Yeah, some of their staff.
Even so, people just screaming and running around, just mad.
Yeah, it was like a war zone. It was like nobody knew what to do, and when paramedics and officers started showing up, they did their absolute best that they knew how to do at the time, but it was terrible because everybody knew us. Like people that showing, because Kate was corporal at the jail, my brother was a county officer, my dad was in law enforcement, Amanda's a nurse at the ER. It was like every person that showed up knew who we were, and so they just froze. One of Kate's sergeants showed up and had to take over CPR and could barely, just like everybody froze when they saw who we were. They just
Yeah, I'm guessing. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just guessing when you know the people, all of a sudden, like a robotic routine that you can
Yeah,
train,
it's not something
all of a
you're
sudden
doing.
it's personal, like it's just.
Very different, I think.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you for returning the antimetal to
not
me,
in the
my
medical
friend.
field, but,
I'll
I
ha-
pulled over and
I am Kazar,
checked on strangers
protector
during
of the
wrecks or
Sabbath.
something,
I
and
was
you're just
born
like,
there.
okay, let me help this
I
person.
had
But,
quite a bit of help.
at that time, when it's your
It is a
entire
wildlife
family,
sanctuary created,
who do you
yes,
go to?
but
Who do you go to help? Like, you don't know what to do. It's just different.
several years ago, Magneto came to the Savage Land and genetically altered some of the natives. He gave them superhuman powers.
Her sergeant looking up at me, and telling me there's no pulse. That's just one thing I can hear her saying. She just said there's no pulse, and
He sought to use them as an arm to put all of the Savage Land under his control.
Very, in that, like I said,
You are quite welcome, my
paramedics
friend.
just weren't, they didn't know what to do. They were freaking out. He jumped in and, got the scissors to get her shirt cut off so they could do CPR. He got I don't know what the board's called. The body boards, they put them on, that he was helping. And
It just was like a dream for you, a nightmare?
I was just frozen.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't really freaking out. Well, I thought I wasn't freaking out. I think that I kind of was, like, a little bit hysterical. But I just remember her when she said there's no pulse, and I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, there is no way that, like, this girl that I've spent my entire life with, we were only 17 months apart, my absolute best friend, like, there is no way that this is happening.
Well, 2 minutes ago, you're just sitting there healthy.
Yep, we were just sitting there talking.
Perfectly healthy.
Yep. And I'm just looking at her, and in my head, I'm saying, like, just breathe, Kate. Like, please, just breathe. Just take a breath. Like, just breathe. And she didn't. And I think a strange part of that was, like after that, I just had to step away and it was done. Like, there she is. And there's other stuff that you have to do. Like, my mom was in there injured and going to a hospital. My brother was injured and going to a hospital. Amanda was still alive at the time, and going to a hospital.
It's really like a war zone, like.
My daughter's in there with the arms of a stranger, like, the power's out, like, it's just chaos. And that's one thing I can remember is, like, just pulling away from there to go to the hospital with the rest of my family in different hospitals, just leaving her there. Was very strange for me. Just like, that's it.
So we're just gonna leave her here?
I'll leave. So Amanda didn't die later until she was at the hospital, and they actually took her to the hospital where she is a charge nurse. Which, later you hear different things, later on from people, and they took her in there, and she was, not really recognizable to them. I had some people tell me that when they found out it was her and doctors were passing out, like, they were just like, there they are working on somebody and trying to save their coworker's life. And they were not successful. So she died later there. I think she had coded a few times, had a few cardiac arrest. But so that is kind of what happened. And then it just didn't stop there. Like, once they came in and told us that Amanda also didn't make it, one of my first thoughts was, and I actually remember, looking over to our preacher that was with us, and I said, my brother was at a different hospital, and I said, I need an update on my brother. Like, my sister's gone, just found out my sister-in-law's gone, and they had 2 kids. My nephew was 8 at the time. My niece, I think, was 12 or 13. I think 12. And one of my first thoughts was, I need to know that my brother's okay. And so he went through a few surgeries. I probably couldn't sit and name all of his injuries or my mom's injuries to you, but they both spent a good bit of time in the hospital. My mom spent a good bit of time in rehab facility after that. So it was just a very long few months afterwards, and I'd say probably just a few years. You know, it's day by day. That's why I say it's just something different every day. You know, you're healing and breathing, and it's just a day-to-day thing.
It's just so messed up. So many levels.
Yeah.
I don't even know, like, we talk about how bad that moment is, all the details of it, but I didn't talk about like his sister and sister-in-law, and then their kids, and we talk about the fact that your dad is the one that killed. I don't know where to go. It's so bad.
Hello, my friend.
It's definitely
Partly,
a lot to
I don't.
wrap your brain around.
I hope.
Which, you know, is a big part of like where my faith, I think, comes in, because, you know, for me, like, as a believer in a God who loves us and who wants good things for us, you know, a lot of people say, can you believe in a God that, you know, did that? So I get questions like that all the time because I am very open about my faith throughout the years after, and you know, daily, and you know, I get a lot of questions about that, but it is a lot, because there's a lot of moving parts.
You're thinking about your life, not necessarily like in a sad or mean way, but you ever just think like, I can't believe this is my life. Like, I just can't believe this happened.
Every day, multiple times a day.
It's just no.
It's not that I'm always sitting there like super sad, like, you
Right,
know,
right.
crying about it, but I'm sitting there thinking like I'll look at where we are now, and like my childhood home that my mom sold afterwards, my childhood home that my parents built in 1988, where I grew up, my sister grew up, my brothers grew up. I brought my first daughter home there. She sold that house after everything happened, you know, because it's just her. You know, my dad's in prison. You know, it's a big house, it's land, so she sold that house not very long after. You know, for multiple reasons. We didn't know, like, what kind of lawsuits, like, you know, it was a big deal. Like, it, you know, it's my dad.
You got it.
So to answer your first question, I talked to my let me
Okay.
I didn't order those questions, but I talk to my dad every day, multiple times a day. My kids talk to my dad.
Right.
Yeah, they do phone calls. We do like a sit probably about the same distance you and I are, if not a little bit closer, and we can talk about things and we can have leaves. So we go, I take the kids, my mom goes. So we have a relationship with that. You know, for me, I went into that restaurant on May 20th because I loved my dad. My family went there because we loved my dad and we were worried about him. We weren't there because we hated him. And so for me, like I walked in there loving my dad and I walked out of there loving my dad. Yes,
Got the energy for that. Yeah.
Mona me, this is shared, obviously, like how absolutely terrible, you know, he feels and all of the things that are even just hard to put into words. You know, like,
Sure.
I don't feel like I was ever really angry with him.
Right.
You know, like very upset that it happened, but I just don't remember feeling angry with him.
If you say so.
Which I'm thankful for because in the midst of everything else that I was feeling, I'm just glad that anger wasn't there for me. And I'm not saying that, you know, other family members or whoever that felt anger that I mean, I think that there were definitely, you know, some mixed feelings at the beginning, and yeah, there were definitely mixed feelings, and you know, I won't share their stories.
Okay.
You know,
Sure.
not saying that they didn't have every right to feel however they felt. You know, I think that everybody was just doing the best that they knew how to do at the time. And even after
You say so. Right.
things I say, like, just doing the best you do, how to do. Like, you're still just doing the best you know how to do. But for me, I'm glad that anger wasn't at him specifically, wasn't something that I had to work through because I was working through so many other things. Like you know, outside of my husband and you know, Kate's fiance and his family, like all of these family members are either dead or severely injured. It's like I was like the last one standing, you know, like before leaving the restaurant that day, looked back when we were pulling out in that cop car, and I thought, you know, at the time I didn't know what was going to happen to my mom and brother, and I thought, I just lost my entire family in 30 seconds, and I know that you feel that, and have felt that. So I'm glad that anger wasn't necessarily something that I had to work through.
She's a mutant. Destiny.
I knew
She forced.
that
Yes.
was not my dad.
Of course I do. Magneto let the Scarlet. The place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
If one of the more difficult things you have actually has been challenging parts of this.
That's a hard one. I would say, like I mentioned earlier, like just choosing how I am going to move forward. Because I'm sure, like, you know, you don't really know, right? Like, you'll never move on from what you even went through, but you can choose to move forward. And, you know, like, I look at it like, you know, I very well could have lost my life that day. My daughter could have lost her life. My husband could have.
Which mission brief?
My dad could have, right? other people have probably thought like you drove through this building and not an injury, one, you know. But for me, like, there's still breath in my lungs. There's still breath in your lungs, and that means our story's not done yet.
I think you have to like your faith in God. You think that is like the primary reason why
Hello,
you're
X-Man.
forgiveness for your dad. You think that's
I believe it deals with four mutants who are separate yet alike. For some reason, Apocalypse wants these. I'm glad.
100% yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that
Thank you for returning the anti-metal to me, my friend.
not you specifically, you can have
I am
faith,
Kazar. I
you
was
can have
born.
hope,
I had.
right? Like you can hope in things.
It is a
and faith in
wildlife
things,
sanctuary. Yeah. Peace.
But
You are.
I have faith and hope in Christ and in knowing that, you know, the Bible talks about, like, as believers, I think that people have this, you know, maybe this misconception that,
What can I do for you?
Christians just have, like,
You got
they have
me.
Jesus, they just, you know,
Apocalypse
like, it's
really did a.
just rainbows and butterflies, and it's just
And
this
it-
perfect, easygoing
Relationship.
relationship with the Lord, right? But the Bible actually
Oi, that ain't one of my feet.
promises the exact opposite of that for
Oh,
believers.
yeah. I met him all right. One of the creepiest blokes I've ever laid eyes on. How he's always carrying on about how only the strong should survive. Bleeding religion to him.
And so I
Oh,
think
you mean
that's how we
that easy? And they'll be keeping an eye on me. But hey, look at the crew I'm running with. There's not a one of them that wouldn't switch sides if the price is right.
point them in the complete opposite direction of
Yeah, whatever.
preach to them. You know, like
Hi,
it's
come
hard,
Dracula.
you know, like I go back to people
How are
saying,
you?
how can you believe in God that
How are you, little
did this,
girl?
right? Like
What are you doing, girl?
God could have
Hi,
stopped it. He could
Patricia.
have, you know, saved your sister. He could have saved your sister-in-law.
Hi, little
X,
sheep
Y, Z.
girl.
And so, like, I just go back to God didn't orchestrate May 20th, right? He didn't orchestrate that. Sin and the fallen part of our world orchestrated May 20th, but he did allow it, which is could still be a part of the story, right? Like, oh, this God that loves us, like, did allow it, but he did allow it. But, you know, the Bible says that he allows things to happen in our lives that are for his glory and for the good of those who love him. And so,
partly out of spite, I would guess. I'm certain our victory at Genosha has him smarted. But he also did it to remove our equipment for detecting his primary base of operations.
Not eaten there since during
I'm
COVID
afraid
when
so.
things were shut down.
Like all machines, it can be rebuilt, but that will take time. I cannot afford to spend right now.
Families with fundraisers and stuff, our community as a whole.
I doubt it.
We're just amazing.
Polaris and Quicksilver were taken on purpose, whereas Beast was taken.
It's a small town.
Magneto would much rather be searching for his son. Yes. I hope.
I already played those, so I'm just
Is it? She's a mutant with the power. Destiny. She foresaw the attack on Genosha. Yes, but Of course I do. They're so... Magneto let the Brotherhood know that we have to get along with the X.
Everybody's medical expense is just multiple things that you don't think about to prepare for.
What can I do for you? It's like a page out of prehistoric times. This land is filled. You got it. But anytime I...
really have that conversation recorded too.
Right, look at all the people I lost on July 23rd. Obviously, losing 40 of my kids is just different level than race and writer, but losing my brother Grace, that's the longest relationship I had with anyone.
Right.
In that car, like I knew my brother Grace since birth. And so losing a sibling it's terrible stuff.
It's definitely.
And he was sister-in-law from your dad. You were there to happen. So how does it change you, like, going through this?
Like, subscribe, share, hit thumbs up. I'm gonna be picking this up soon.
Some reports say that Trump's perfectly content and are in position to use it as a modern-day siege because he's able to lock down all the reports. Crushing bad economics to crash the economy propped up surreptitiously by Russia and China. But you know, it's complicated. Trump has become very upset.
Oh, that's going to be the mark.
Okay. I understand. Sure thing.
Very wrong direction. It's up 20 points, 32% in the last 6 months.
Wait, what happened?
Bad direction for
It went up or down? Where's it at right now, a barrel?
I don't know. I can fucking watch it.
Need more power than
what I
that.
watch it.
Sure thing.
She quit the magazine. Just such a humiliating crash out.
Sure.
Breaking, going on the View, turning on, down-coded, left-wing coded language, just like super humiliating. Nobody should be proud of it. Perhaps, you know, she still has some people that tell her things, you know, that are close to the administration. Let's read. I'll let you decide. They're discussing the use of nuclear weapons around
Was enjoyable.
last time we used a nuclear weapon was in Hiroshima, vaporizing people. Straight through radiation skyrocketing cancer rates, generational growth, debt defects. Not to mention wiping out the means of their economy, and suffering was so great that all of them would be out again. Trump's administration were told by our intelligence agencies that Iran were creating a nuclear weapon, and then the same lie repeated for decades that
Y'all don't be wandering off.
Sure thing.
And Iran has controlled straight from
Get together, team.
punishing the region.
Yes.
And now lowering the nuclear threshold in order to use nuclear weapons against Iran, even though Trump claims he's won the war before it's on. So you can see this subsidy dripping in anti-Trump animus. Trump promised no more foreign wars, but we may be on the road to the Holocaust. This is he's not untouchable, and if when that happens,
There you are.
Oh, y'all shouldn't have gone messing with Gambit.
Weapons, right? So, take it with a grain of salt. Here's coming to note on one of them, right? The claim comes solely from Green. As of this post, the White House has not confirmed that such meetings with government official credible news outlet has corroborated. What would a nuclear weapon, modern nuclear weapon do? Hundreds of thousands to several million people would die, depending on the weapon's yield, target city's population density, and detonation height. Airburst, but like if you were to use, like if you were to nuke a modern city, like in New York City, you would have 600,000 fatalities. And probably one.
Can't go in that direction.
If you were to use a modern weapon, class. 455 kiloton nuclear weapon. Hundreds of thousands, millions dead, depending on the city, Moscow, Beijing, London, New York. The ones used for these simulations. What drives the glass pressure that collapses buildings, thermal radiation causing severe burns and fires. Kill most people in war zones. Fallout adds longer death downwind, especially groundburst. Dense urban cores produce the highest numbers. Of course, and as you know, you can see here, there's a lot of core